What about the outgoing players, potentially outgoing players? Because you wrote a piece about Marcus Rashford being at a crossroads. Great read, of course. He just doesn't seem like the Marcus Rashford that we know that we've seen in the past. What does his future look like to you? Is it intrinsically tied to whoever the next manager is or not?
Not necessarily. I mean, I think there's an idea that Mauricio Pochettino is an admirer of his. I think there's been sort of on record in terms of his interest in potentially looking at getting him to perhaps Spurs or even PSG. So that could be one that Rashford would welcome. At the same time, he'll have 2 years left on his contract at the end of this season. I mean, it's one, but with an option of an extra, so you kind of can see it as two. And inevitably, there'll be talks in that situation because that's probably the final time where United can get value from the market in selling him. At the same time, does he want to commit his future to the club if he's not going to be the guy that he thought he was going to be? You know, in terms of when he first came through, he obviously came in such a burst of excitement, and even sort of 1920 and 2021 seasons, he was one of United's pivotal players. You know, scoring 20 goals in each of those seasons. So this season has come as a real sort of speed bump in that, and he has felt, I guess, unsettled by the shift in his position, the fact that he's not the go-to guy anymore. He obviously needs to take responsibility for his performances on the pitch, and clearly there's been moments where you felt that he hasn't been totally at his best. He's had a dip of form, but I think at the same time you can say that he looks a little bit confused in terms of what he's being asked at times. You know, he's played different positions, left wing, right wing, even sort of a right wing back at one point off the bench. So I can understand why he might be a little bit uncertain about the roles that he's been asked to perform on the pitch. But it's a situation that definitely needs a discussion at the end of the season, because he was, you know, United's kind of bright star for a long time, and I think he would want to see where they view him going forwards.
Yeah. Liam, I know that you don't cover Manchester United. I just want a prediction from you. Will Ronaldo be at the club next year? Although I think I'm sensing it could be to do if they get Champions League football or not, but what do you think?
I mean, looking at things very much from the outside, it doesn't feel like things have been trending in that direction, really. Not just in terms of the results Man United have had on the pitch, but the kind of noises that have been coming out of the dressing room and around the club. It doesn't feel like Ronaldo's really assimilated, particularly, certainly not assimilated into the team. I mean, he's obviously an incredible all-time talent, so you're going to get performances like the one against Tottenham every now and then, although of course they're less frequent than they used to be. But it feels like the compromises the team has to make, and maybe the compromises to your sort of dressing room harmony, the equation, the pro-con equation seems to be shifting a little bit. And of course, some of Ronaldo's comments suggesting that, you know, I came to United to win, not to be third, fourth, suggests maybe there could be a different idea of where the club is going between player and club as well. I mean, I'm sure Laurie knows more than I do. That's just my assessment from the outside.
Passing the baton to you over, Laurie.
Pretty good assessment, Liam. Yeah, it's certainly the debate now, isn't it? Whether United's goals with Ronaldo at the forefront come at the expense of team harmony, team kind of shape, I suppose. There's certainly people that think, well, you just need to feed him. You know, you need to play to his strengths because you've got this guy that has an incredible record for scoring. We saw against Spurs when he's got a bit of a point to prove, he wills himself to a hat-trick. And I think you can certainly tap into his experience and his pedigree. I suppose it's just whether he would be up for not starting every week, because it seems that if he isn't starting or if he comes off the pitch, you know, as we saw at Brentford, he was furious, wasn't he, to kind of be removed with 20 minutes to go. If there can be some kind of middle ground reached where he kind of goes, okay, yeah, I'll play 20, 25 games a season, not 40, 45, maybe it could work. But I think it's quite an interesting sort of friction at the moment, and United will have to weigh that up in the summer.